Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
Picked up a couple games in a couple days, and I think we're back even in the loss column. So we're back into having a chance. And tomorrow we got a chance to come out here and try to finish Cleveland off if we possibly can before we're going to head out on a tough road trip.
It's getting fun around Target Field with those wins. The Twins have crept within one of the Houston Astros, who are idle tonight for that final wild card spot. Los Angeles Angels just a game and a half back, and the team the Twins play tonight, the Cleveland Indians, hanging on 4.5 games back inside the wild card standings. A very cloudy, murky, drizzly Thursday in the Twin Cities in downtown Minneapolis, but we are going to have on-time baseball. That doesn't look like there'll be any delays. Welcome inside the stadium for what could be the biggest home game of the season for the Minnesota Twins, and they are streaking at the right time. Even though the pressure is up, they are a loose bunch. There are dance parties. There are dance party trophy ceremonies, and both Brian Dozier and Kevin Jepsen know that if you're streaking right now at playoff push time, that's a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing winning the first two of the series, and throughout the season, your goal each and every homestand or whatever on the road is to win the series. It's tough to win series in the big leagues, but now I feel like you got to take it even a step higher, and you got to try to win every game.
I think that's where we're at now, is just keeping it loose, having fun, not trying to dwell on how many in a row we need to win. It's just we need to win today, and it sounds very cliche, but honestly, at this time of year, that's what you have to do. You have to take it one game at a time and an inning, and you just try and win innings, and string together as many winning innings as you can, and hopefully those turn into games.
Young Kyle Gibson has developed into the most consistent starter this year for the Minnesota Twins. Is he the new ace? Dick and Bert come back and break down what could be the biggest start of his young baseball career.
Fox Sports North is presented by Menards.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ram. Come in and get a great deal on the best trucks during Ram Truck Month. This month, Kyle Gibson has emerged as the best thing the Twins have in regards to an ace of the starting rotation. And he's on his way perhaps to a 200-inning pitch season. His mound opponent tonight, Cody Anderson, second time that he'll face the Minnesota Twins, as the Twins hope to finish this homestand with a flourish and a 4-game winning streak. And good evening to you from Target Field. Dick and Bert with you for the final game of this homestand. And yeah, Kyle Gibson, a drafted and developed guy by the Minnesota Twins, is enjoying the pennant race here in September.
Yeah, former #1 pick Kyle Gibson here this afternoon. He'll be making his 31st start of the year. But remember three starts ago, he gave up 4 hits, 4 runs to the Kansas City Royals in that ball game. He ended up losing 4-2. But since that time, over his last 21 innings, has allowed only 3 earned runs. We saw this earlier this year where Kyle Gibson had a 20 scoreless streak. But for Kyle Gibson, where he ranks this season, tonight will be his 31st start, second in wins behind Phil Hughes, who won his 11th ball game last night, first in innings pitched, and also first in strikeouts.
Over the years, the Twins have spent a lot of money on free agents to front this rotation, and it is Kyle Gibson who's doing it in September as the Twins hope to finish this homestand with a 3-game sweep over the Indians, heading out for a tough road trip starting tomorrow night in Detroit. Twins with a win tonight can get to within a half game of the second wild card position, currently held by the Houston Astros. Last time the Twins were in the playoffs, they rode a rotation of Baker, Blackburn, Liriano, and Pavano into the postseason. And the cast of characters all different, of course, and it varies from series to series. But over this 3-game winning streak, the starting pitchers have done the job and have helped the Twins to a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah, so far here in 21 ball games in September, the starters are 9-5 with a 3.48 earned run average combined, and you can see the difference between the starters last year and this year, how much better it has been.
Those are Coors Light cold hard facts. And so the Twins, those 5 teams, the Cubs, Cardinals, Rangers, Mets, 3 of those teams are pretty much locked into the postseason. And the Rangers have a little ways to go yet, although they won this afternoon, and they've got a 3.5 game lead over Houston, and the Twins have a little more ground to make up. And Kyle Gibson is hoping to head them in the right direction here tonight. Barry Francona brought his Indian team here to Minnesota right on the heels of the Twins, but the Twins have won the first 2 games, so now the Indians are going to have to try to recover from a series loss here. They've got that opportunity with 4 games coming up against the Twins in Cleveland next week. The Menards batting order for the homestand finale. No Michael Brantley again. Jason Kipnis in the leadoff spot. Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall, Chris Johnson, the first baseman tonight, Abraham Almonte, and then Mike Aviles.
Had Kyle Gibson on the mound here tonight, making his 31st start of the year, looking for his 11th win. Very good earned run average for Kyle. Walks about 3 per 9 innings, about 5-6 strikeouts per 9. He's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. And over his last 6 starts since August 22nd, Kyle Gibson is 2-1 with a 2.75 earned run average.
To me, the improvement in the starting pitching and the pitching staff in general is due primarily to a much better outfield defense. And again, it's Rosario in left, Hicks in center, Hunter in right. None of them were there last year at this time. And of course, Byron Buxton gets some time in the outfield as well. Floof, Escobar, Dozier, Mauer, the infielders, Suzuki back behind the plate. Rosario last year was in Double-A. Hicks last year had failed in his 2nd season as a starting center fielder. And of course, last year at this time, Torrey Hunter was still with the Tigers. Bruce Dreckman calling balls and strikes. Alfonso Marquez, Tom Hallion, and Dan Bellino on the bases. And Jason Kipnis will lead things off.
And Kyle Gibson, when he is on, he'll have a good sinking fastball, also a 4-seamer. He'll work in on left-handed hitters, a slider, and a very improved changeup.
Kipnis doing his thing at the top of the Cleveland batting order, just not much of a supporting cast. Indians have scored 3 runs in this series, 2 of them late last night against Glenn Perkins.
Yeah, he's on a disabled list for a while. His right shoulder still kind of bothering him a little bit, but the average is very good at 301.
And on the outside corner, 1-1.
We have to say congratulations again to the ground crew. They did a great job of getting this field ready. A lot of diamond dust put around the field. Tarp was covered most of the afternoon.
That's to the left field corner, and a deep to the left field corner. Rosario, that ball's gone, a home run. Kipnis doing to the Twins what Brian Dozier did to the Indians last night, an opposite field home run, and it's 1-0 Cleveland.
Yeah, Kipnis not known for his power, a guy you want to get on and maybe move him in by base hits, but Kipnis hitting his 19th home run of the year. His 9th home run of the year right here. Watch this pitch right here. And Kipnis taking that sinker, that high sinker, the other way. Right over the 339 mark into the flower bed.
Indians don't hit many home runs, but they start this game with one, and now Gibson back on the outside corner at the knees. Strike 1 to Jose Ramirez.
I said Gibson's been kind of stingy as far as home runs. Only his 17th home run allowed and his 7th here at Target Field.
1-1. Indians have been beset by a series of shoulder injuries. Giovanni Urshela, their outstanding defensive third baseman, has got a sore throwing shoulder. Haven't seen him in this series, so Jose Ramirez gets a chance. Michael Brantley injured his shoulder here 2 nights ago. Kipnis has been dealing with a sore shoulder.
Yeah, Ramirez, just 23 years old, already in his 3rd season with the Indians from the Dominican Republic. 3 different stints this year with the Indians.
And ball 4. A leadoff home run, and now a walk by Gibson will get Lindor to the plate. We showed you the early ambush that the Royals put on Gibson a few starts ago. It was 4-0 Kansas City, 9 pitches into the game. And then Gibson settled down, ended up pitching a complete game. He lost the ball game, but the feeling was that he found something. Maybe not mechanically or anything, but he found some bulldoggedness, if that's even a word, that he was going to recover from a slow start and still give his team some innings that they needed at the time.
It is to me.
That's a word to you? Yeah. Bulldoggedness?
Yeah. Well, Kyle Gibson, for some reason this year, this is his first start against the Indians. This is the 15th game between these two teams. Kyle, over his career against the Indians in 5 starts, 1 win, 1 loss, and high ERA at 5.61. So he has had some struggles against the Indians in his young career.
Indians in a bit of a state of desperation. They've got the early lead here, and you can imagine Terry Francona wanting the Indians to try to expand the lead here early on, and Gibson misses with the first pitch to Lindor. And the Indians getting to the 500 mark and hoping for the type of finish they had a couple of years ago when they were so good the last 2 weeks of the season. A couple of tough losses here to the Twins. 1-0 to Lindor. Check swing and a strike.
Yeah, they've kind of had an up and down year. They about 2 weeks ago finally got back to 500. The only time that they have been over 500, you go to the 3rd game of their season. They were 2-1, and then they started losing some ball games. But as of late, it's been, getting back to 500 and then losing a ball game, getting under 500.
Like where the Orioles are now too. They fought hard and played well to get back to the 500 mark today. And this year in this league, if you're at 500, you're in the hunt.
Right.
1-2 to Lindor. And a look over. Gibson's typically pretty tough to steal on. 5 out of 6 in stolen base attempts. The other team is. A couple of pickoffs. 26 ground ball double plays. Hacked foul.
Kyle in his 3rd season with the Twins, 27 years old. He has a birthday coming the end of next month. Last year, a 13-game winner in 31 starts.
Lindor's bounced into 12 double plays, and he just got a piece of a pitch off the plate. A foul tip, and the at-bat still alive.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Lindor the last couple ball games, how this guy's future. I mean, my goodness, only 21 years old, getting called up in the middle of June from AAA. A switch hitter, hitting over 300 from both sides of the plate.
And there goes Ramirez, and the pitch swung on and fouled, and that got Suzuki. Catchers, of course, leave that throwing arm, wrist, hand, fingers exposed with men on base so they can get a quicker release.
Let's take a look right here. The follow through, I think, right there. Got the side of the mask and maybe part of his head. Catchers wear that hard hat. But boy, Suzuki feeling that one.
Might be a trip to the mound here from the trainer here pretty soon.
catchers take a beating. We saw a foul ball go off of Suzuki's mask. I believe it was last night that pushed him back into the umpire.
Tony Leo comes out. Kurt Suzuki might just give him a shove back toward the dugout. But that one really stung. We remember back in spring training when Josmiel Pinto got hit 3 times in one game right there, right off the temple.
See Kyle Gibson saying, you know, somebody please come out. It was Tony Leo.
Saw Josmiel Pinto get hit 3 times by Adam Jones follow through in a spring training game. And then over the course of this season, Pinto had more concussion issues unrelated to what happened in the spring training game. Long at bat here, 1-2 to Lindor. And a base hit to left. So the Indians with a home run. A walk now, a long at bat, and a successful one for Lindor. First and second, and Gibson still looking for his first out.
Yeah, and leaving some pitches up. That one to Kipnis right there. That one to Lindor was a pitch up and away, and good piece of hitting by the young 21-year-old. Just taking that pitch the other way.
And now Carlos Santana, the designated hitter. Twins have done all their scoring in this series in 2 different innings. The 3rd inning 2 nights ago, the 4th inning yesterday, a 3-run inning, a 4-run inning, and now the Indians are trying to put up a crooked number here in the 1st. Strike 1 to Santana.
Santana just 1 hit off of Kyle Gibson in their meetings in 10 at-bats, but that was a home run. It was Santana that ruined the Twins shutout last night when he hit a 2-run home run off of Glenn Perkins in the 9th inning.
He's grounded into 20 double plays this year. Missing the inside corner, 1-1. 17 pitches in. Gibson still hasn't gotten an out.
You see the slider right there, catching the inner part of the plate, but Bruce Dreckman saying it was a ball.
That hits Gibson, and he'll fire to first in time to get the out. Got him on the foot, it looked like. And he says he's fine, and he'll take the out, but the runners move up.
And it's Suzuki this time going out to see if Gibson's okay. But both runners advance. Well, ball away, and Santana right off the left foot of Kyle Gibson. He reacts, bears in, hands it, gets it over to first, and Joe Mauer for the first out.
In its own way, that play supports the notion that at some point Kyle Gibson will win a Gold Glove award. He's very athletic, very agile, quick, fast, all of that.
Yeah, that one he had to put on his foot, on his shoe.
Here's Yan Gomes. 1 run in, couple of runners on. On the outside corner, a strike. Gomes is a high strikeout guy. Strikeout every 3.5 at bats or thereabouts. Gibson has picked up more strikeouts this year than he has in other years. Nice block by Suzuki. 131 strikeouts, 186 innings pitched.
Well, what I have seen of Gomes, he's a very good fastball hitter. And the first 2 pitches, sliders away.
Some early heat for Kyle Gibson. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. 1-2.
I think Gomes very good numbers against Gibson. 5 hits and 9 at bats, a couple home runs.
Two men in scoring position, and Gibson trying to pitch out of a first inning mess.
Suzuki sitting away again.
A big strikeout. 2 down.
Stayed with a breaking ball. 4 pitches. And that last one, a swing and miss. Straight over the top breaking ball. And Gomes just trying to get something in the air, swings through it.
Now, if Gibson can get Chisenhall, he can get through this first inning with just 1 run allowed.
And that's what you want to do, is just try to cut down the no multi-run innings. Cut down the damage if you can.
Down low, ball 1. That's what the Twins did so well 2 nights ago against Danny Salazar after taking the 2-out walk. Extra base hit after extra base hit. The Twins had 3 runs, and then 2 against Corey Kluber last night. Kept getting some clutch hits. The biggest, Escobar's 2-run single. 1-0. Base hit to right, and it's the Indians getting a 2-out hit. And it'll score 1 run. Hunter's throw to the plate not in time, and it's 3-0 Cleveland. Chisenhall doing exactly what Escobar did last night in the 4th inning.
Yeah, you worked so hard to get that strike out of Gomes, and then the next hitter, which is more important than what he did to Gomes, it's Chisenhall that hits that ball between first and second. The sinker just kind of stayed about thigh high, and Chisenhall hitting it between first and second, and with 2 outs, Ramirez scores, and Lindor off with a crack of the bat scores the 3rd run of the inning.
Quick start for the Indians, and now Chris Johnson. Ball 1. The Indians putting up 3, and again a few starts ago against Kansas City the Royals got 4. Two and 0. Runner goes. Suzuki's throw not in time. A stolen base for Chisenhall.
He got a very good jump right there. Steals his 4th base of the year in 5 attempts. Suzuki's throw was high, but Chisenhall read Gibson very well here. Look at him take off. And a head first slide gets in the scoring position with 2 outs. Chris Johnson, a newcomer to the Cleveland Indians, coming over from the Braves on August 7th.
Two and 1 to Johnson with another runner in scoring position. 2-2. So far, Gibson's best pitch has been that breaking ball.
Yeah, he's kind of stayed away from that fastball. He's kind of to the 2-seamer. Hasn't really thrown that 4-seamer in on lefties. It's more the 2-seamer, and he's left it up.
Missing inside, 3-2. Almonte on deck. This will be the 30th pitch of the first inning for Gibson. There's a call, 3rd strike. It took a long time, and Gibson ends up giving up 3 runs in the first. And this time it's the Indians striking first against the Twins. It's a quick 3-0 start for Cleveland. Twins with the edge in the season series against Cleveland, remembering that there are 4 games in Cleveland next week. The Menards batting order for the final game of this series. Aaron Hicks leading off, Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Trevor Plouffe, Eddie Rosario, Torrey Hunter, Kurt Suzuki, and Eduardo Escobar.
And it'll be 25-year-old Cody Anderson on the mound here, making just his 14th start and his 14th major league start. His second against the Twins, got a no decision in his last start back on August 7th. Twins ended up winning that ball game 10-9.
All the numbers there look good, but the strikeouts to innings pitch make you believe he doesn't really fit in with this Cleveland pitching staff. Everybody else strikes out more than a guy per inning pitched, and this guy's more of a pitch to contact guy.
Yeah, more fastball, maybe at 92, 93. Very good changeup, and then a curveball.
Inside to Hicks, 1-1.
There's a 94-mile-an-hour pitch.
Carrasco, 171 innings, 196 strikeouts. Kluber, 208 innings, 230 strikeouts. Salazar, 174 and 186. Driven to right field and beyond the reach of Chisenhall. Hicks to second base, and he'll hold up with a leadoff double.
Well, a pitch left up right there, and Chisenhall diving for it. He lost his glove, and he said, to heck with that. I've got to go retrieve that baseball, and he did. So Aaron Hicks with a double.
Another well-hit ball from the left side of the plate.
Again, look at where the location of that pitch was, just above the belt. Chisenhall just off the tip of his glove. And then the glove came off, and he retrieved the ball as he stepped on his glove.
And now Dozier started the scoring last night with his first opposite field home run ever. Down and away, ball 1. "28 home runs. 25 of them have been pulled to left, 2 of them to center, and finally last night 1 to right. Outside, and it's 2-0.
Anderson, 20 walks, just 1 intentional in 77 2/3 innings coming into this ball game, so pretty good control. His last 3 starts, 3-0 with a 1.40 earned run average.
3-0. It's been a season of streaks for him. He started his big league career with 4 great starts, then 4 bad ones, stint on the disabled list, and now some good ones again.
Young man just started at AA this year, promoted to AAA, now wearing an Indian uniform.
3-0. And at the knees. When he faced the Twins back in early August, it was 6 up, 6 down, and then all kinds of trouble in the 3rd inning. He never got through the 3rd inning. 5 hits, 6 runs scored against him. Squibb to the right side. There's nobody at first base. Dozier with a head first slide is safe.
Anderson late getting over there.
An infield hit for Dozier.
And that cost him. Right off the end of the bat, kind of squibbed out towards second base. And Johnson, the first baseman, he went after it. And you can see Anderson a little late, and then Brian Dozier diving over the bag, getting that left hand on the bag before Anderson's foot could get there.
One of those times when I think even skeptics would tell you that's one of the times when the head first slide to first base was appropriate, with the pitcher converging onto the bag. Just simply need to touch the bag and get your hand off the base so it doesn't get stepped on.
Shades of Nick Punto right there.
Yeah, but Nick did it on fly balls to right field. Twins trying to answer after Gibson gave up 3 runs on the top of the inning. Here's Mauer. Down the middle, a strike. Joe with a double that contributed to the 4-run inning against Corey Kluber yesterday. Got a pitch up and away and drove it to the gap in left center. Inside, 1-1.
Last night, Joe reached base again. He hit a double. 42 consecutive games, tying Bob Allison for the Twins all time.
Bob did it back in 1961.
Yep.
High fly to short center. Hicks setting up for a tag. Almonte creeping in. Here comes Hicks. He's coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. Got him. 2 down. And Paul Molitor immediately up on the top step with Dozier taking second base. And Hicks heading to the dugout as if he knows that a strong throw from Almonte nipped him at the plate.
Well, you know what we showed last night, Torrey Hunter getting behind the ball, how to throw somebody out at home plate, and right here Almonte, a one-hop throw to goes, and right there got him on the back end before Hicks could get his hand on home plate.
That's how all of that is supposed to work. The catcher gave the runner the sliding lane. It was a strong throw from the center fielder who played it perfectly, creeping in.
Yep, and then got rid of it quickly, and a perfect throw.
So 2 down, and now Sano at the plate trying to get something out of this threat the Twins put together here in the first inning. Outside, ball 1. Now a strike. 1-1. It's been a long time since the Twins have had a player who's gone homerless for a few games, and you're tempted to say he's due. But that's the case with this guy. Off the plate, 2-1. He played with Harmon Killebrew. Harmon had that. If he went 4 games without a home run, well, you just assumed that he was going to get one in the 5th game.
People would say, "What's wrong, Harmon?"
2-1. Ground ball to short. Lindor gobbles it up. Twins start the inning with a double and a single, but come up empty-handed. It's still 3-0 Cleveland. Twins hitting coach Tom Bernansky will join us from the dugout when we come back. The Indians touched him for 3 in the first. Happy to have Twins hitting coach Tom Bernansky with us. And Tom, there's so much ground to cover here. You've had a lot of very interesting young hitters to work with. Let's start with the guy in the leadoff spot. We've seen in this homestand Aaron Hicks with a much better approach from the left side of the plate. What have you seen?
I think maturity is a key word here. You know, he finally starting to understand some things, and with the help of all the guys that have touched him along the way through the minor leagues to Torrey, and just having an idea of what the game's trying to do to him and slow the game down a little bit. And he's got a better idea of what the pitcher's trying to do and what his game plan is, and his execution's been a lot better.
Inside, 1-1.
Hey, Tom, I know that you guys do a lot of prep work as far as who's on that mound opposing pitchers, like Salazar the other night and Kluber last night. Saw the Twins jump on a lot of first pitches against a guy like, say, Anderson here tonight, where you haven't seen him a lot. A little more patience?
Yes. We're not going to be too aggressive early. We're going to make him work. Obviously, when you have Kluber and the stuff that he has, and Salazar with those wipeout pitches that they possess, it's you want to jump on something straight as soon as you can. But we're going to try to work this guy tonight a little bit, try to get some good pitches to hit, and we did. You know, the first inning we squared some balls up hard, didn't get anything on the board yet, but you know, that approach should pay off.
3-1 to Almonte, and a liner to left, hit right to Rosario, 1 away. Since Rosario caught the ball, let's move on to your rookie left fielder and what you've seen from him this year.
Well, you know, the thing about Rosie is he's not afraid, and that's a big step for a young player to come up and to come up there to the batter's box and not have any fear about making outs, about being embarrassed, about getting jammed. There's a lot of things that go through hitters' minds when we get into that batter's box, and his only thought is to hit the ball. And I think over the course of time we'll harness that swing a little bit, because he certainly is aggressive, and he swings at some pitches that might be out of the zone a little bit, but you know, right now it's paying off, and you can see the league, they've adjusted to that. They try not to give him too many strikes, but if they miss in the zone, he puts a pretty good pass on it.
Kind of night and day between, we just talked about Aaron Hicks and Rosario when they first came up. Is like Rosario, he's not afraid to fail. I mean, he's just going to go out there and play the game.
Correct. And you can go and you can sit down and talk to him after an at-bat, and he understands what the pitcher is trying to do to him, and he can make adjustments on the fly, which is pretty impressive for a young kid.
1 strike to Aviles with 1 gone in the second inning. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven joined by Tom Bernansky. Of course, the jewel, at least from what we've seen so far, is Miguel Sano. How would you assess what you've seen from him this year?
It's pretty phenomenal when you sit back, and you know, the skill set we know is there, and when you carry all the notoriety before you come to the big leagues, that's pretty much a lot of pressure on a young kid. But he has no fear, and he's got the size, the strength, and the idea of what he wants to do, and you also can tell right when he got here from the first day, the pitchers treated him like he's got the 30-year home run for 10 straight years, and you know, they're throwing 3-0 breaking balls, a lot of changeups, and a lot of cutters trying to get him to chase. And you know, for who he is right now, I mean, it's pretty impressive, a lot of the good at bats he's taken and the walks that he's taken.
You know, we could talk about Dozier and Trevor Plouffe, but I want to talk about Escobar. That little guy, he brings a lot with him to the ballpark, doesn't he?
He does. He's kind of like our little igniter. You know, you don't think much about him, but he's one of the strong personalities in this clubhouse, and the boys flock to him, and he's always involved in everything that's going on, and you can see the growth in him, and I think it has to do with him being more relaxed, knowing that he's going to be in the lineup every day, and you can see it when he goes up in his at-bats. He's not trying to get 4 hits every game. He's just kind of going up like our approach and try to have good at-bats every day, make the pitcher work, put the barrel on the ball, and he's been doing a pretty good job of that.
2 outs, 2 strikes to Kipnis. Gibson hoping for a 1-2-3 second inning. And a home run to the left field corner his first time up, and there's strike 3. Bruno, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
All right, boys, let's go score some points.
All right, it's 3-0 Cleveland after an inning and a half. for a big out in the first inning.
They got rid of that ball very quickly. A nice one hop to Gomes. And Aaron Hicks tagged out on the buttocks before he could get that left hand on the bag for home plate.
Northland Ford defense for the Indians. Avilas in left for Brantley. He might play tomorrow. Monte in center, Chisenhall in right. And then Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Johnson, the infielders, Gomes behind the plate. And Trevor Plouffe takes strike one.
Yeah, he tried to bunt right there with Ramirez playing a deep third base.
And now 1-1.
Well, good night at the plate last night for Trevor Plouffe. You see where Ramirez is, the third baseman, playing a deep third. Trevor with a couple doubles and a single in last night's ball game.
Pulled foul. 1-2.
Trevor leading the club with 82 runs batted in. That's a career high for him. He had 80 last year.
And a called third strike at the knees. Down. First two batters reached against Anderson. Albeit one of the hits was a squibber off the bat of Dozier, but now three straight batters retired.
Yeah, straight over the top fastball clips the bottom of the strike zone. Knee high.
Yeah. One down, and now Rosario. And strike one. And now two strikes. Now Bernansky saying that teams aren't throwing much over the plate to Rosario lately. Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Understanding, of course, that schedule is tentative because we have the possibility for a really crazy setup in the American League with two, maybe even three teams tying, four teams potentially tying for the final wild card spot. Swing and a miss, two strikeouts to start the second inning. Greg Holland of the Royals has been pitching with an elbow issue for the second half of the year. They say it was really bothering him going back to last year. He's got a partial tear of the UCL in his right elbow, and the Royals are shutting him down. And of course, he was so instrumental in what the Royals did. And you'd say, well, no problem. Wade Davis can close games, and he certainly can. He has earlier this year. There's a check swing dribbler to second.
Well, what you do is move everybody up the ladder, and it weakens the bullpen.
Create a little vacuum maybe in the 7th or 8th inning. A 1-2-3 second for Anderson. third inning. Carsoup.com trivia question: who was the last Twins player to lead the American League in outfield assists?
Oh, good question.
Well, you think, well, it could be Hunter, could be Puckett. I'm going to go back to Gary Ward, because I know one year he did it. I think 83, something like that. And I think we're at the point of the season where the people who come up with these questions are trying to stump and embarrass us.
That's not hard.
Driven to the gap in right center. That's down for a hit. And Ramirez will go to second with a double. Indians jumping on Gibson for 3 in the first. And now a quick double to start the third inning.
Yeah, you walked Ramirez on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning, and here Ramirez jumping on that first pitch, his 12th double of the year. You can see Suzuki wants that ball away. The ball left over the heart of the plate, and Ramirez splitting the gap in right center.
Torre with a nice backhanded pickup, but Ramirez is at second, and now Lindor, who had a long at bat, and then spanked a single to left field. And now a drive to center. Ramirez to third. They're going to wave him around. They're going to hold him now with Hicks throwing all the way over the mound, over home plate. Gibson backing it up, and Hicks and the Twins are lucky that Lindor didn't scamper to second base.
Well, we had Tim Laudner did an interview with Butch Davis on our pregame, and that's one thing Butch Davis has really tried to stress on these outfielders is hit that cutoff man.
Hicks didn't even hit the catcher.
No, good thing Gibson was backing up home plate. So 2 pitches here into the third inning. Indians have runners at the corners.
And 5 quick hits against Gibson. Here is Santana. Hit a smash against Gibson's foot and was thrown out for the first out of the first inning. A deep drive to right. 3 pitches into the inning, and the Indians have 3 runs. 6-0 Cleveland.
And the second home run that Gibson has allowed.
The Indians teeing off on Gibson, who'd been really stingy in giving up runs and home runs, but it's a quick 6-0 lead here. And this is kind of what the Royals did to Gibson in the first inning in his last start against Kansas City when he was behind 4-0 after 9 pitches.
Yeah, too many pitches right there, and it's the first time this year that Gibson has allowed 2 home runs in a ballgame. And Santana, who had a 2-run home run last night, hits a 3-run home run to give the Indians a 6-0 lead.
Jan Gomes struck out in the first, and at the time it looked like a big strikeout because it was the second out of the inning, and the Indians had just 1 run on the board, but then Chisenhall followed with a 2-run single, and now 3 more runs here in the third. Two and one.
One thing Gibson's been able to do, he's been able to go pretty deep into the ball game, but having trouble here, short of start, came in his first start in Detroit, but all our starters went short that series.
And these aren't cheap hits, folks.
No, he's leaving. Boy, he's not hitting his spots at all. Everything has been up in the strike zone.
4 bullets, one of them hit over the fence, and Dunsing getting loose in the bullpen as quickly as he can.
Neil Allen coming out.
7 hits. Gibson's retired only 6 batters. He's gotten 4 strikeouts. But one of the outs was a liner to Rosario. That ball was hit hard. Another out was the smash against his foot in the first inning.
A quick trip to the mound by Neil Allen. And while we got a second here, I'd like to say happy 90th birthday to Ralph Wires out of Union Hill, Minnesota. Happy 90th. He and his wife had 7 children. They have 20 grandchildren and 15 great grandchildren. Ralph, thank you for being a Twins fan, and happy birthday to you.
Now, I've got to confess, Union Hill. I don't know where that's at. I'm
Hill,
going to look it up.
Minnesota.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Grandpa Ralph, happy birthday.
It's going to be around the Montgomery area. We'll find it.
Well, we hope Gibson finds it. Chisenhall drove in a couple runs in that 3-run first inning with an RBI single with 2 outs.
And Union Hill about 5 miles, it looks like, west of New Prague and a little bit south and east of St. Benedict. South and west, I beg your pardon.
Gibson again making his first start against the Indians this year and came into this ball game 1-1 with a 5.61 earned run average.
Fouled back. That's 1-2.
16 earned runs allowed coming into this ball game in 25 2/3 innings, and Indians have put 6 on the board early off of it.
Follow the September pennant races with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app now. Popped up, short center. And Plouffe, the only infielder on that side, making the catch for the first out. And that'll get us to Chris Johnson. Johnson struck out looking to end the first inning. The Indians got 3 in the first and now 3 here in the third. Paul Molitor and Neil Allen talking about options, with Gibson clearly struggling here with his command. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball.
And that's the pitch that struck out Johnson to end the first inning on a 3-2 breaking ball. Johnson, the son of former major league player Ron Johnson, now manager in the minor leagues in AAA for the Orioles.
Pulled foul, and it's 0-2.
Johnson grew up in the Fort Myers area down in Naples. Went to Bishop Furrow High School right there in Fort Myers.
Off the plate, 1-2. What's the high school that's right by the Twins complex there?
It's South Fort Myers. That's where Max Kepler got his high school degree, right across the street.
One and two. And now 2-2.
Well, he's really fighting it here tonight.
57 pitches thrown and only 7 outs on the board.
You know, so many times we see Gibson and Suzuki, they work so well together. Suzuki sits inside, that ball's in that area, but tonight Suzuki doesn't know which way to move and where that ball's going to go.
Inside now, 3-2. Keep an eye on Gomes. See if he takes off here with 1 out.
And he struck out Johnson on a 3-2 slider, but Suzuki wants that 2-seam fastball.
Gomes was staying put, and the pitch dribbled foul.
Pyle making his 31st start of the year. '72nd major league start. 25 wins, 26 losses in his career.
Called third strike. Second time that Johnson has been caught looking. 2 down. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more info, visit foxsportsupports.com. Here's Almonte lined out to Rosario his first time up. Missing inside. The only out that has been recorded on a ball in play that hasn't been hit hard was Chisenhall's pop-up a few moments ago. And now 2-0.
And this is a Kyle Gibson that, you know, as of late, I said the last 6 starts, 2-1, very good 2.75 ERA, but we have seen him. We saw this last year. When he's on, he pitches outstanding. When he does not, he has outings like this.
Dug out by Suzuki, 3-0. And you get the sense that if Gibson doesn't get Almonte here, he might not be pitching to Aviles.
Yeah, and Kyle's 25 career wins, that's 34 games. He has an ERA of 1.7, but in his 26 losses in 37 games, an ERA at 7.48.
There's a walk, and we'll see if the Twins make a move now with Aviles coming up, a right-handed batter or waiting, and that's it for Gibson tonight. Very disappointing start for Gibson. 6 runs on the board. He'll leave with 2 outs in the 3rd and 2 men on base. Couple of home runs, and it was clear from the outset that Gibson was having a tough time keeping the ball down around the knees, and so he will leave in the 3rd.
Sometimes you just don't have it, and he didn't have it here tonight.
Aviles will face Dunsing when we come back. Returning to the Target Field. It's a special offer that includes a reserve seat for the game on Friday, October 2nd, when the Twins take on the Royals, plus your very own limited edition Minnesota Twins Zubaz pants. Take advantage of the special offer, available exclusively by logging on to twinsbaseball.com/Zubaz.
Well, Brian Dunsing coming out of the ball game. It's been a while for him to be on the mound here. He last pitched on Wednesday when he got the loss in that 12-inning 7-4 loss to the Detroit Tigers. J.D. Martinez hit a home run off of him in the 12th inning. A 2-run home run. Dunsing making his 53rd relief appearance.
Outside ball 1. Dunsing's role has certainly changed over the course of the year. He was a 7th or 8th inning guy, and now we've seen more and more him pitching in the middle, or in case tonight's game, the early innings of the game. 1-0 and 2-0.
Yeah, control has kind of been an issue for Brian. In 21 walks in 43 innings pitched, he has 23 strikeouts.
Hit to left. Rosario over reaches and makes the catch, and that ends the inning. Another good inning for the Indians. They get a 3-run home run. It's 6-0. Coming up next, it's award season for the Twins as they handed out their dance awards, the Tory Awards, and we'll give you the winners next.
Season, and what a great tradition Torrey Hunter has brought to this team. The dance parties after every single win have caught fire. The levity this team has brought with each and every win in that clubhouse, second to none. And yesterday with the podium, the coaches in attendance, the entire team in the clubhouse, the awards were given out. Some notable winners: Miguel Sano, Best New Dancer. I like this one, Creepiest Dance. Glenn Perkins, the closer, get his creep on. The Best Duo, Kyle Gibson and Trevor May. Best Overall Dancer, not a surprise, guys. When your nickname is Sugar Shane, Shane Robinson, the outfielder, takes that trophy home. The trophies were brilliant. The award ceremony, according to Paul Molitor, really something he'll never forget and something he's never seen in all his years in baseball.
Down and away to Kurt Suzuki, leading off the Twins' third. Thank you, Kevin.
That's called chemistry. Just guys having fun after a victory, just to get to know each other a little bit better and have some fun doing it. I didn't see Eric Fryer's name on there.
Suzuki with a base hit to left. It was the third inning in Anderson's last start against the Twins, where they were held in check and then they erupted for 6 runs. So we'll see if they can get something along those lines done here tonight. Well, this is a behind the scenes look here at what happened.
This is an exclusive?
Yes, this is an exclusive. The dance party. This is what happens after a Twins win.
I know John Travolta's in there somewhere.
And they have had a blast doing it. And frankly, I'm surprised that we were able to smuggle the video out of the clubhouse. A leadoff hit for Suzuki, and now Escobar squaring the bunt, taking a strike.
I still like Trevor Plouffe's award. Perfect attendance. Well, Twins need to find a way to get back into this ball game 1 run at a time. Maybe they can put up a 3 or 4 spot like the Indians have.
I'll say it's quicker if they do it 3 runs at a time, but fly ball to right. 1 down.
Good changeup right there. Escobar out front. Anderson only 25 years old. He really didn't start pitching till 2011. He hurt his arm in Little League in Quincy, California, northeastern part of California. And when Terry Francona saw him over the winter, he thought he looked more like a lumberjack than he did a pitcher. But the young man started in Double-A, moved up to Triple-A. Very good numbers in the minor leagues. Now making his 14th start for the Indians.
Got a leadoff double in the first, didn't score. Now a leadoff single, and Hicks pops one up behind third. Tracking it is Ramirez. And Hicks is gone on one pitch. 2 down. We'll bring up Dozier. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Dozier hit one right off the end of the bat. A little squibber between the mound and first base. First baseman Johnson went to get the ball, and Anderson was a little tardy in covering the bag. Dozier with a head first slide got a hit. So the Twins had first and third, nobody out. But then Mauer hit a short fly ball that turned into a double play. And the Twins haven't threatened since. Strike one. Down the line, foul by a foot or two.
I know these are short numbers, but in 13 major league starts for Anderson, opponents hitting just 230 off of him. Right-handers only 211. Left-handers 254.
Hit to right, deep to right, just not as deep as the one last night on the warning track. Caught by the right fielder Chisenhall. And as we head to the fourth, the Yankees lead at 6-0. Theaters throughout the state. And this year, new venues and new shows provide even more reasons to make going to the theater part of your Minnesota vacation. Find upcoming shows at exploreminnesota.com and discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Share and tag your experiences with hashtag only and MN. Holiday shows featured throughout Minnesota warm the season and create memories that last a lifetime.
Are you a theater goer?
I've gone to some wonderful theaters here in the Twin Cities. Gone to the Guthrie, Chanhassen, and all kinds of great theaters here in the metro area, and some really nice theaters in the outstate as well. Kipnis drops a bunt down foul. How about you? Are you a theater goer?
No, I'm sad to say I'm not.
Really?
No. I went to a Broadway play once and I think I fell asleep.
Really? How could you do that?
I just do.
Oh, just a couple of years ago, I went to see The Lion King in New York with my daughter. In New York, I've seen a couple of other shows, but the point of it.
Have you seen The Nutcracker?
I have
stage?
not. I have not. And Kipnis gets hit in the hand. And Terry Francona is going to come out right away to see if Kipnis is okay.
That fastball ran in on Kipnis. We see Suzuki sitting inside, and Kipnis kind of dropped his hands. The ball ended up hitting off his fingers, his right fingers. Kipnis will take first base. I asked about the Nutcracker because my granddaughter, Gracie Rose, who is 8 years old, she's going to be in a play in California. We're going to go out in December and see her perform in the Nutcracker. I hope I stay awake.
I do too. Oh, Grandpa's asleep again. Here's Ramirez. And ball one. Dunsing having a hard time throwing strikes here.
Yeah, Ramirez will walk, and then he led off the third inning with a double. He scored a couple times.
Outside. Dunsing's thrown 8 pitches, only 3 strikes. Twins need to get this game turned around and win it just to have a .500 homestand. Lifted foul. The principal competition, of course, the Houston Astros. That's the team that the Orioles, the Indians, the Angels, the Twins, they all want to get to where Houston is right now. Houston idle today, but Texas beat Oakland 8-1, which means that even if the Astros sweep the 3-game series this weekend between Texas and Houston in Houston, swinging a foul tip, it's 2-2. I mean, the Astros can do all of that, and the Rangers will still be in first place in the division by a half game.
Right.
That was a big win today for the Rangers. And the Twins in danger of falling back into a tie with the Angels. Chopper to short, might be able to get 2 here. There's 1 and 2. 2 down in the 4th. We'll show you now how the Indians got their 6 runs.
Started off with Jason Kipnis on the 3rd pitch of the ball game, hitting a ball into the flower bed for a home run, a leadoff home run, his 9th of the year. And then in the 3rd inning, another home run off of Gibson. Carlos Santana with a big 3-run home run and 3 shutout innings. Exactly what you have to do with a big lead is what Cody Anderson has done.
Twins need to keep it at 6. Obviously, Lindor has been a tough guy for the Twins to get out since he's made his debut this year. He takes strike 1, and he's got 2 more hits tonight.
Lindor is a right-handed hitter, now hitting .336. A good hitter from both sides of the plate. See, he's a hitter kind of like Paul Molitor did. He kind of lays that bat on his right shoulder, and then once that pitch is delivered, they bring that bat up. Paul was very comfortable at the plate. I remember facing Paul many times. At times too comfortable.
1.
So I had to wake him up.
Well, Lindor with another hit. This one driven to the gap. He'll have at least 2 here. And he wants 1 more. Dozier's throw to third base. Hit the runner and then kicked up high on Plouffe, and it'll be a triple for Francisco Lindor. Now against the Twins, Lindor is 16 for 32. He's hitting .500 against the Twins.
Well, he has not missed pitches when they are left up, and that's exactly what Dunsing did right there. His 3rd hit of the ball game, his 4th triple of the year. Take again a look at the location. We have seen Gibson leave pitches up. Dunsing right there. Good solid swing by Lindor. And it's a runner's decision as Lindor slides in 3rd. Looked like a hit off his elbow and then off the shoulder of Plouffe.
So a runner at third, the double play looming large here in the fourth. And here is Santana, who clobbered a 3-run home run his last time up. Ball one.
Santana hitting .270 as a right-handed hitter, but most of his power coming from the left side of the plate. 15 of his 18 home runs as a left-handed hitter.
On the ground hard. Nice pickup by Escobar. He got the first hop and threw him out. No damage done. A hit batter, a triple. The Twins down 6-0, and Miguel Sano will hit in the fourth. Your link to what's next by NorthlandFord.com and your local North. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Your link to what's next by NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Kyle Gibson getting roughed up and knocked out early. Seems the Twins have an answer in the bottom of the fourth. Mauer will lead things off, then Sano and Blue.
Yeah, for Kyle, that's his shortest outing of the year. So not a good start.
Strike one at the knees to Mauer. Mauer hit a fly ball to center, but not deep enough to score Hicks from third base. He was tagged out on the slide by Yan Gomes. So a big double play in the first inning, and now pulled foul, 2 strikes.
Well, one thing Anderson has done, he has been able to get that first pitch over the plate. 10 of 12 hitters he has faced now. He's been able to get that strike one over the plate.
Up high, and it's 1-2.
Doing a very good job of attacking the strike zone. Only 32 pitches. And 33 coming into the inning. 36 total.
And now 2-2. And again, in his earlier outing against the Twins, it was 6 up, 6 down. And we were getting our first look at this young man, but then the Twins had a big third inning.
Well, you wonder if that oblique, and I remember the next day they put him on a disabled list. He strained his left oblique. You wonder if that bothered him in that ball game.
Wow, a rocket to the glove. He didn't even have time to move the glove. Maybe the hardest hit ball for the Twins tonight, and went right back to the pitcher.
Yeah, sometimes the ball finds you. Anderson's follow through goes toward first base a little bit. He just kind of put the glove down, and the ball found it. Take a look right here, right back up the middle. Ball hit very sharply.
Hicks hit his ball hard in the first inning for a double. Now here's Sano. Big swing and a miss. I think where Sano is now health-wise, he's able to run a lot better. He's been consistently hitting with power. 17 home runs in basically half a season.
Well, good breaking ball right there at 81 miles an hour. Sano with 17 home runs. You see where he likes the ball in that red zone.
1-2. And an off-speed pitch. He strikes out.
Good changeup right there. And Anderson picks up his third strikeout.
2 down.
Well, he threw him all three of his pitches. He went right after him by a pitch to Sano. The first one a fastball that he swung right through. And another fastball that he took. And then a good breaking ball. Yeah. And then the changeup.
And now Plouffe popping it up, short center. Monte, it's a shortstop Lindor. He makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3-4. 6 in a row set down by Anderson. It's been all Cleveland so far, and there are some Mountain Dew fans of the game. The Love Your Melon organization and the Twins combining for the stocking hat giveaway. What a wonderful organization that is. I was made aware of it first last year. A hot ground ball to Trevor Plouffe. And across the diamond, one away. You can keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 400 supported devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. You can visit MLB.TV today. One down here in the fifth. Lane Boyer getting loose with Dunston trying to get through the fifth inning here. Chisenhall with a back-breaking 2-out, 2-run single in the first inning. Made the score 3-0, and then the Indians added to 3 more in the 3rd. Up high, and it's 1-1.
Dunsing out there. He relieved Gibson in the 2nd inning. Able to work out in the 3rd. His longest outing this year, 3 innings, that against the Brewers back in late June.
Rifle shot to Dozier.
Tell you what, the Indians have made good contact here against Gibson and Dunsing.
Twins fans, listen up and find out how you can buy tickets to potential postseason games here at Target Field. For the first time on Wednesday, September 30th, the general public will be able to buy tickets to a potential wild card game as well as any division series games played at Target Field. Beginning at 10 a.m. on the 30th, all you have to do is visit twinsbaseball.com and pick up your tickets to October. Here's Chris Johnson. He's been called out twice on strikes. So while everybody else in the Indian lineup has made a lot of noise, literally, Johnson's taken 2 called 3rd strikes.
Yeah, both of them on 3-2 pitches. And both of them sliders from Gibson. A couple of years ago, Johnson hit .321 for the Braves, came in 2nd in the American League in the batting title behind National League behind Michael Kadire.
And the Indians need some pop. They need somebody to be able to hit the ball over the fence, hit for a decent average. There's clearly nothing wrong with their starting rotation, and they've got a very good bullpen too. They are where they are, trying to get back to the 500 mark because of a punchless offense. And as luck would have it, injuries to some of the guys who can provide some punch, like Brantley now.
Well, they come into this ball game hitting .257 as a ball club, but they just haven't scored a lot of runs.
Chisenhall taken out of the infield, moved into right field. And that one is hit hard on the barrel through the left side of the infield. That'll bring up Almonte.
Hit number 9 for the Indians. Off of Dunsing, hit number 2.
And Dunsing got through the lineup. Almost got through the lineup. A complete turn, and he'll come out here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Blaine Boyer will try to get Almonte. And the 6 runs on the board, charged to Gibson. And now Boyer will try to strand a runner and pitch the finish of a scoreless 5th inning. Legendary heavyweights meet for the first time. Josh Barnett takes on Roy Nelson. I'm guessing that's Roy on the right. in a long-awaited matchup. Plus, it's the biggest challenge yet for Uriah Hall as he takes on Gegard Mousasi. UFC Fight Night Saturday at 9 p.m. Central, only on Fox Sports 1.
Have you watched some of that? They beat the heck out of each other.
I have not watched it.
There's no mercy in that.
No. Here's. Have you watched it? You must have.
I have.
Really?
Yes. It's like, wow. Kicking and a scratching.
Ball one.
Boyer coming in relief of Dunsing, making his 63rd relief appearance. He last worked here on Saturday in Game 1 against the Angels. He's done a good job out of that bullpen. See the earned run average at 2.36.
1-0. Two 2-0. It has been all Indians so far here tonight. And now Boyer having a hard time throwing strikes.
$19 walks, 4 intentional for Boyer in 61 innings. Ryan O'Rourke getting loose in the bullpen.
And there's one that clips the outside corner.
Now Monte coming over from the Padres in late July.
Swinging a foul. You saw Gibson. I don't believe he's moved since he was taken out of the game. I don't think he's gone to the clubhouse to ice. Were you an icer?
Yes, well, not early on. Not in my first 12 years, no.
Okay, so that not unusual to see a pitcher sit there and.
Right. Until I hurt my elbow, then I started icing.
3-2 to Almonte. There goes the runner, and the pitch grounded to Dozier. Lauer retreats to the bag, and that ends the 5th inning. It's another 0, but the Indians have the first 6 runs of the game.
Lottery winner circle, 100 scratch-off tickets, and it's my last Circle Me Bird of the Year, and we saved the best sign for last. Dorothy is 101 right here. I don't know what took her so long, but it's her very first Twins game in person. She watches every game on TV. She calls Brian Dozier the Doge, and the best part is his grandsons are here, and they're twins. John and Chris are twins. How fitting is that for such a big Twins fan, and how neat is it to be here with Grandma in the ballpark to see her watching her first game at 101?
Oh, it's a great night. Great night to be out, and she's blessed to watch the game.
She's also blessed to take home those 100 scratch-off tickets, guys, and get circled by a Hall of Famer. It took a long time to get her here, but Dorothy at 101, making her Twins debut.
That is awesome.
Hey,
yeah.
Kevin, give her an extra one. I'll pay for it. If she's 101, she ought to have 101 scratch-off tickets.
101 scratch-off tickets. Dick is getting the 101st scratch-off ticket for you. Thanks for everything, guys. This is spectacular.
You're such a big spender.
I hope that when I turn 101, you'll buy me a lottery ticket.
I will.
2 strikes to Rosario.
Good luck finding me.
Hey, that's awesome. You know, we've got so many wonderful, and I don't know where they're from, but we've got so many great Twins fans who watch loyally or listen to the radio loyally, but they don't get a chance to come here very often, and when they do, that's a treat for me to be able to see her at her first Twins game.
You know what, and Rosario swinging at a high pitch. He strikes out for the 2nd time against Anderson, and Anderson picking up strikeout number 4. You know, in the Winter Caravan, that's one thing I ask, and I hope that they oblige me on going to retirement homes, because those are our biggest fans.
Even though they can never come to a game, perhaps. Right.
Oh, absolutely.
1 down in the 5th. Here's Hunter. Twins need to get some traction here. This game spun out of control early, and there isn't anything about this the cause of winning this game that wouldn't be enhanced by getting a run or 2 here. Get something on the board.
You got to credit Anderson, because that's a rare ball 1 count. He's been doing a good job attacking the strike zone.
Another one off the end of the bat, similar to Dozier's hit. 2 down. And before Suzuki hits, non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. 8 in a row sent down by Anderson, and now here's Suzuki, the last Twins base runner, singled sharply to left. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, I mentioned before, Anderson started in Double-A this year. He made 10 starts in Double-A, 3 in Triple-A. You can see the pitch counts. 14 of 17 first pitch strikes. In the minor leagues, he had a 1.89 earned run average. Then came up in his major league debut. He pitched a whale of a ball game. He got a no decision against the Tampa Bay Rays. He worked 7 2/3 innings, did not allow a run. And the Indians won that ball game late, 1-0.
2 strikes and another foul. You know, he's been both very good and very bad so far in the big leagues, and in August the Twins saw him when he was very bad. You mentioned the oblique, that might have been part of the issue, but he's been very good here. He's done everything you'd want a pitcher to do to protect a big lead.
I mean, he's kept that pitch count down nicely, the most he needed in the first inning when he had that double play turn behind him. 15.
And a base hit for Suzuki with 2 down in the 5th.
And Kurt Suzuki with 2 of the 4 hits off of Anderson, both of them to left field. But Anderson, since he's come off the disabled list in 5 starts, 3-0, ERA at 2.12. Coming into the ballgame, his last 29 2/3 inning, he allowed only 7 earned runs.
And now Escobar. Fly ball to right his first time up. He was out in front of an off-speed pitch and didn't get much on it. Hit a short fly ball.
That was a change up, and Escobar got a little out front and created that fly ball out.
And a fastball for a strike. 54 pitches, 40 strikes, a 74% strike percentage.
Yeah, he has that circle changeup.
And now off the plate.
First pitch at 83, that one at 91. Signed by the Indians in 2011. out of Feather River Junior College in Quincy, California.
Feather River
Junior College. Yeah, I read the bio on him. Again, a young man pitched in Little League. He hurt his arm. They said, you know, you shouldn't pitch anymore. He went to the outfield.
And Escobar slaps a single to left, and that'll get Hicks to the plate with 2 men on.
And I thought about the movie as I was reading his bio, because he said when he went to junior college at Feather River that he couldn't hit the curveball. So they turned him into a pitcher.
So he had trouble with the curve. Is that the movie you were thinking?
With the curve.
Okay.
Right.
I was thinking, you know, a river runs through it. What movie were you thinking of?
Well, trouble with the curve.
Okay. Well, a big chance for the Twins now with 2 outs. They've gotten a couple of singles, and they need some production.
But that's also a good movie.
No, river runs through it. They're very good. Yeah. Hicks with a double his first time up, a liner to right just out of the reach of Chisenhall. Then he fouled out to Ramirez on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Twins need one of those doubles that Hicks got to lead off the ball game in the bottom of the 1st.
Changeup drifts outside. Fastball on the inside corner. 1-1.
I think Aaron's done a good job since he was put in that leadoff role.
That's where he wants to hit. And when he made his debut back in 2013, that's where the Twins put him right away. And he struggled in 13, struggled in 14, and looks like a much more polished player this year. That's a check swing, and it's a strike. 1-2 to Hicks. Nice job by Gomes keeping that around the dirt.
I think that was that circle changeup again. Watch the movement of this pitch. Aaron Hicks. Ball lands right on top of home plate, if not in front of home plate. Wow, right off the plate. And caroms into Gomes, and he knocks it down.
Now ahead of Hicks, 1-2. Drive to right, hanging in the air for Chisenhall.
Another good changeup right out front.
Right off the end of the bat. The Twins get a couple of 2-out hits, leave 2 men aboard after 5. It's 6-0. It's a very complex situation when you've got 4 teams playing for 2 spots. Either Texas or Houston will probably win the West. The Angels still have an outside chance. Here's the schedule that's remaining. And, you know, when I look at something complex, I try to find the simplest solution. I think the simplest thing for Twins fans would be for the Texas Rangers to win all their games. That would mean Houston would lose 3. The Angels would lose 4. You can see in the wild card standings, if the Twins don't turn this game around, they'll be tied with the Angels. So unless somebody can convince me otherwise, we'll just hope that the Rangers run the table the way the Indians did 2 years ago. And then, of course, the Twins have to do their thing and continue to win series. Check swing and a soft liner caught by Dozier, 1 away. That'll bring up Kipnis. And it will bring out Paul Molitor. Boyer asked to get just 2 batters, and the Twins will bring in a lefty. Ryan O'Rourke was warming up in the 5th inning. My guess is he's the guy who'll be called on here to pitch to Kipnis and the switch hitters.
That's going to be a bullpen night here for Paul Molitor and Neil Allen.
With the Indians up 6-0.
Ball game. Kipnis hitting a home run the other way gave the Indians a 1-0 lead. Lonnie Chisenhall with a big 2-run single made it 3-0, and then in the 3rd inning, Carlos Santana with a big 3-run home run. And Cody Anderson has taken it from there. 5 very good innings. He's thrown only 60 pitches in the 5 shutout innings.
Kipnis will step in there with Ryan O'Rourke finishing his warm-up tosses. Kevin Gorg, Bert Blylev, and Dick Bramer all getting set for a road trip that will be the biggest road trip the Twins have been on in 5 years.
It's an exciting time for these players. For Ryan O'Rourke, he's making his 26th relief appearance. He's had some outings that create a reliever. You go out there and have a couple of bad outings, boom, that ERA jumps up there. He had 2 outings in late August. It gave up 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. 2 different outings.
You look at the opponent batting average, just .208. Walks are too high, and he's given up some home runs with men on base.
Well, one thing we have seen from O'Rourke, he likes his slider. He will throw a lot of sliders.
Michael Tonkin getting loose. And now 3-0. It seems like everybody, starting with Gibson and the 2 relievers that preceded O'Rourke, they've had a hard time throwing strikes right away. Ramirez on deck. And a strike on the outside corner. Gibson figures to get 2 more starts.
And knowing him, he'd like to start tomorrow. I know he knows he can do better.
Hope foul.
O'Rourke, 27 years old, started in AAA, got called up on July 6th by the Twins. Excuse me, started the season in AA and then promoted to AAA in early April. Aaron Thompson was sent down to AAA. And he misses with a slider there.
Kipnis draws a 1-out-1. That'll bring up Ramirez. Fox Tracks presented by Ram. The pitch left a little bit high, according to Bruce Dreckman. He was talking last night, I think, about how with the week and a half roughly to go in the season, Twins can't afford to have any short starts, and then sure enough tonight Gibson gives them a short start. And now it's 2-0 to Ramirez. Twins will go to Detroit, and they will not face Justin Verlander in that series.
Ramirez hit into a double play in the 4th inning off of Brian Dunsing, but O'Rourke having a tough time getting that ball over the plate. 9 pitches, only 2 over the plate.
Lindor on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. And O'Rourke really struggling. Suzuki trying to settle him down now with a trip to the mound.
And here comes manager Paul Molitor.
Lindor will hit with 2 men on. The Twins trying to stay in the fringes of this game. They haven't scored yet, and Michael Tonkin will come in with 2 men on and 1 out in the 6th. Twins cutting through their bullpen. This is already the 5th pitcher to be used in the ballgame. At your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go. At your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, the classic quarter pounder with cheese only at McDonald's, and right now just $3. Already 6-0. The Indians are threatening in the 6th thanks to a couple of 1-out walks by Ryan O'Rourke, and now Michael Tonkin will try to get Lindor out, and that's meant nothing better for the Twins than a toss of the coin.
Tonkin coming in, making his 22nd relief appearance and the 5th since being recalled from Rochester for the 5th time this year.
And Lindor is 16 for 32 against the Twins.
He's had a very good series so far, 6 hits and 11 at bats.
First and second, 1 down. And a strike. From memory, of course, a lot of hits, 16 of them. I don't think there have been any busted bat flares or, little numbers off the end of the bat. They've been bullets.
There have not been many easy outs.
Swing and a foul, 2 strikes.
You know, as an organization, you want young kids to come up, and Lindor, one of those kids that Indians are looking for to be their shortstop of the future. #1 pick back in 2011. 8th overall pick.
Fastball just missed the inside edge. Very close pitch.
Tonkin going inside.
And it was inside.
Got part of the plate. It's a round circle. It doesn't like stop.
Swing and a miss. There's the strikeout. And that's the pitch the Twins want Tonkin to use more and more and sharpen as he goes along.
You know, he goes down to AAA, and he had very good numbers down in Rochester. 41 innings. He had a 1.1 earned run average. Good breaking ball right there. Great location.
Lindor's hit everything hard. He missed that by 8 inches. 2 down, and now Santana. There is this. The Indians are leading 6-0. Twins haven't really put together much of a threat since the first inning. Now that gets by Suzuki, and both runners will move up. But the Indians have had opportunities to add on, and they haven't. If the Twins could ever get some production from the lineup and get back in the game, the Indians might regret what they didn't get done in the middle innings here.
That wild pitch right there will be charged to Tonkin, and that's his first wild pitch of the year. All getting away from Suzuki. That breaking ball down and in.
Up and away, 2-0.
Again, he goes down to the minor leagues. He puts up great numbers, but up here, over the last 3 seasons, he has struggled. Last year, 3 stints, and now they're going to go ahead and walk Santana intentionally.
Santana with a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. Gibson gave up 3 runs in the 1st, but then in the 3rd inning, bing, bing, boom, on his first 3 pitches, double, single, home run. So now they're loaded up in the 6th. The Indians have drawn 3 walks, and Gomes will hit with 2 out.
You know, you asked me earlier about icing, and I said after 12 years I didn't ice, but if I had a short outing, which I did, I would still ice later on in my career. Gibson not icing.
1 strike to Gomes.
Because even though he threw 64 pitches in 2 2/3 innings, he still was down in the bullpen warming up, and sometimes you're down there throwing 60 to 70 pitches to get ready for a ball game.
Suzuki has to backhand that one. There's stuff there. Tonkin has got a mid-90s fastball and an improving slider. And we saw him pitch a really good at bat to Lindor, but then falling behind Santana. There's a drive to right, Hunter back, and Tonkin ends up leaving 3 men on in the 6th. It's 6-0 Cleveland, and Brian Dozier will lead off the Twins half. Brian Dozier will lead things off. And among second basemen since 2013, Brian's first full year. 69 home runs first, all the runs, averaging about 100 per year.
I think Brian's going to look back at this season, and this guy's a bulldog right here. I mean, he plays almost every day. He plays with a lot of desire, and the Twins very lucky to have him. And now an Escobar, good double play combination. He's going to look at that average and say, how can I get that batting average up? Because the other number's outstanding.
So Dozier's put together 3 of the top 4 seasons for run production, runs batted in by a second baseman. Ball 1. Dozier will be followed by Mauer and Sano. And now 2-0. There haven't been many 2-0 counts.
No, you know, Brian said that this is an exciting time for him because he came up in 2012. Remember, the Twins were 66 and 96, 30 games under 500 at the end of the season.
And now a strike.
So some of these young players, this is an exciting time of the year. They're fighting for something they haven't been able to do since they came up to the big leagues.
Pulled foul.
Watch out.
2-2. Great pitch count. You see just 64 pitches thrown by Anderson.
He's not walked anybody, has 4 strikeouts. Twins have 5 hits, 1 double and 4 singles.
And an off-speed pitch. He was fooled, but he flipped it foul over the Twins dugout.
Got a very good changeup.
Two and 2 to the leadoff man here in the 6th. And a foul. I'd like to see the Twins get something done here and kind of turn the heat up on the Indians and their bullpen here. They've had a comfortable lead for most of this game. Maybe the 3rd time through the order, some better swings against Anderson. Sano hoping to have a chance here this inning with men on base. Out of the glove of Lindor, and Dozier will get a base hit. A line drive in the glove, but Lindor couldn't hold it. The leadoff man is on.
Brian hit that ball sharply. Lindor going to his left. He leaped up, and it was in his glove for a second and popped out. Lindor very athletic right there. See the ball pop out, and his momentum going towards center could not get back to make the catch. We've seen some emotion from this youngster.
Here's Mauer.
Will be an infield base hit for Dozier, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Strike 1. Twins got a leadoff double in the 1st, didn't score. Leadoff single in the 3rd. Didn't score. Now the leadoff man is on here in the 6th. Oh, 2.
Straight over the top fastball.
0-2 to Mauer. Sliced foul. Checking with Bruce Dreckman about something.
Probably wanting to make sure that last pitch was a strike.
2 strikes to Mauer. Takes a ball. Nice block by Gomes. Mauer with 105 strikeouts, first time in his big league career that he struck out 100 or more times. Approaching 600 at bats this year. One and two. 2-2.
Yeah, for Joe Mauer, this is game 149 on the season. That's the most he has appeared in a Twins uniform in a season.
There have been some games at DH, but not since Sano's been here with his hamstring issue.
Yeah, back in 2012, 147 ball games when he hit .319.
3-2. Had a couple men on at one time twice in this game. Now trying to start this inning with a couple of men on base.
It's only the second 3-2 count that Anderson has had here tonight.
Double play grounder. And Mauer wraps into a double play. It's the 19th double play that he's hit into this year. Base is empty for Sano now. He's having a great rookie season. Among the rookies since July 2nd. 17 home runs, a great slugging percentage. And an on base plus slugging percentage of over .950.
Yeah, that's the date he got called up on July 2nd. Made his debut in Kansas City.
Strike one. Oh for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Busted his bat, and he gets a flare to right, a base hit. And that'll bring up Plouffe with a man aboard and 2 down. Look at some of the great rookies. Carlos Correa of the Astros, 19 home runs. Lindor, I've seen more spectacular play from Lindor than I have from Correa, only because we only see Correa for 2 series, and he didn't play here in Minnesota at all. Very good young shortstops in the American League this year, rookies. Strike to Plouffe. Plouffe with a strikeout and a pop to short. Checked his swing, and it's 1-1. Up high, 2-1. Twins leading the season series with the Indians 9-5, but unless the Twins turn this game around, that will change. 4 games left, all night games, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. And the hope is the Twins will come back from the road trip in at least the position they were in starting play tonight.
Yeah, for meaningful games.
Showed you the remaining schedules for the wild card contestants. Twins have 3 in Detroit, 4 in Cleveland, then 3 home with Kansas City. 2-2 to Plouffe. That's pushed to the right side. Kipnis with a nice play and throws him out on 1 hop. Trevor didn't get much behind it, but it looked like it was headed to right field. Nice play by Kipnis. And the Twins come up empty in the 6th.
for the Twins when Kipnis hit the third pitch of the ballgame for a home run. Indians took a 1-0 lead. Chisenhall with a 2-run single with 2 outs in that first inning. Indians up by 3. And then in the third, Carlos Santana with his 18th home run, his second in the series. Big 3-run home run. And Cody Anderson, 6 shutout innings. 81 pitches in the 6 shutout innings. No walks, 4 strikeouts.
Chisenhall will hit against Tonkin here with the Indians up comfortably as we move into the 7th inning. 1 strike. And now a ball.
Good fastball right there, throwing it past Chisenhall.
Chisenhall with a 2-run single, since then a pop to third and a liner to second. And the Twins switching infielders with Plouffe swinging over to the right side of the infield, and Escobar moving equidistant between second and third. 2-2. Foul away.
Chisenhall came up as a third baseman, now out in the outfield. He was sent down earlier this year, and since he's come back up, he's been hitting over 300.
Johnson will follow, and there's another foul. Two and two. Popped up in the air, and Escobar eventually makes the catch. 1 away. And now Chris Johnson. But first, as promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #NorthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Johnson with a single his last time up. He's been called out on strikes twice. A rocket to Escobar, 2 down.
We have seen a lot of those tonight.
Indians with 9 hits, but they could just as easily have 15.
Right.
2 down, and that'll bring up Almonte.
Another ball hit right on the button. Line drive to Escobar.
Almonte lined out to Rosario his first time up. A slider for a strike. And foul. 2 strikes. Another breaking ball.
Tonka, 25 years old, signed by the Twins in 2008. Came up for 9 ball games in 2013. Last year 3 stints. This year 5 stints with the Twins. Kind to see, I mean, he's a tall kid, 6'7", doesn't really bend his back. And when he ends up following through, almost standing just as tall as he is.
And to center, Hicks comes in to make the catch, and Tonkin has a 1-2-3 7th inning. Kyle Gibson, and the Twins have been handcuffed by Anderson.
Well, they needed a good start from Gibson, and they did not. Only 2 2/3 innings, shortest start of his of the season.
After tonight, the 3 remaining home games at the end of the season against the Royals, October 2nd through the 4th. Fan Appreciation Weekend is Friday and Saturday, presented by U.S. Bank. All fans receive a Twins stocking cap presented by West Bend. Sunday is Kids Appreciation Day. The first 10,000 fans 14 and under get a TC stocking cap courtesy of our family brands. Rosario lifting one foul, backing out of play. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com to get tickets. One strike to Rosario, leading off the Twins.
Found it interesting what Tom Bernanski was talking when he was talking about Rosario, about, you know, trying to have him be a little more patient. Now, they're not going to work with him much the rest of this year, of course, but
high fly to center, and Almonte with the catch, one away.
Only 14 walks and 421 plate appearances for Rosario, and he's got so much talent, and that's one thing I'm sure Tom Bernanski in spring training try to get him more in the strike zone as far as swinging, and don't swing too wildly.
Twins have 5 players already with a century mark in strikeouts, and if Torrey Hunter strikes out one more time this year, it'll be his 100th. There's a blast to left field. Torrey sends one high and deep and gone, and the Twins are on the board. Number 22 for Torrey Hunter, and it's 6-1.
That was a no-doubter right there by Torrey Hunter. At 40 years old, the young man just keeps on getting some big hits, big home runs. And Torrey putting the Twins on the board, 6-1.
And now Suzuki, who's got a couple of hits against Anderson.
I'll get a couple more right back to him.
Yeah, you heard Tom and Bernanski right there. Let's get a couple more, put it right back on him.
Chopper to short. Lindor has an easy play. 2 down.
First time Suzuki has been retired.
Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule.
That home run by Torrey Hunter is 353rd home run in his career.
Continues to crush Cleveland pitching. Strike one to Escobar. Torrey Hunter with 5 home runs, hitting over 300, and now Escobar hooks one through the hole on the right side. The Twins get another 2-out hit. Escobar has 2 2-out hits here tonight against Cody Anderson. Hicks came up in the 5th with runners at first and second and 2 down, hit a fly ball to right. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, trotting to the mound. We're just starting some activity down in the Cleveland bullpen, so Callaway out to talk about Hicks and how to get him out and get the Indians off the field here in the 7th.
See Torrey right there talking to Sano, I'm sure, about hitting. And when you're a rookie like Sano or Rosario or even Hicks or Buxton, you become a sponge and you listen. You take it all in from a guy that's been through it all.
When you're 22 and you'd like to play when you're 40 years old, you better listen to the 40-year-old.
Amen.
Here's Hicks. Strike on the outside corner.
I tell people, you know, they always say, well, how did you play so long? Because when I came up, I was a sponge. And I had an opportunity to watch Jim Perry and Jim Cott go about their business. Learned so much from them. Getting an opportunity to talk to Don Drysdale at 19 years old.
Popped up. And out of play. 2 strikes.
Just talking pitching, and that's what Torrey, he's talking hitting right there. And you learn from the best. Torrey got the baton from Kirby Puckett, and he's passing it on through his knowledge.
Two strikes to Aaron Hicks. And a fastball off the plate. Hits are even at 9 apiece.
You see some action in the bullpen. Shaw, the right-hander, Crockett, the left-hander, and the most pitches that Anderson has thrown in a ball game, 101, and that was his last outing against the Chicago White Sox.
Now 2-2.
Well, the first 3-4 innings were outstanding, but 17 in the 5th, 21 last inning, and 10 so far here in the 7th. Now, I was not in Cleveland when Anderson, you know, gave up all the runs in that 3rd inning that Twins knocked him out. But what I've seen from Anderson here tonight, that circle changeup has the Frank Viola type of movement.
Hit to the right field corner. And Escobar will round second on his way to 3rd. And Hicks gets back to the bag, so it's a base hit. Now 2 men aboard for Brian Dozier.
Yeah, that pitch right there stayed right down the heart of the plate, and Hicks picks up his 2nd hit. So the Twins doing some hitting here in the 7th inning.
Ten hits, and 5 of them have come with 2 outs, but they've all been single.
Yeah, that ball right down the heart of the plate, and Hicks hits it sharply in front of Chisenhall. And Escobar with 2 outs scoots over to 3rd.
The Twins get 1 on the board, have men on the corners, 2 down for Brian Dozier. And it'll be Shaw coming in to face Dozier, who has a pair of singles. And the Twins have had a couple of big comebacks here at home this year, hoping for another one yet tonight.
Right. Believe, baby, believe.
Took the game into but not through the 7th. Tonight, be sure to catch Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 for complete highlights and analysis of everything that happened in Major League Baseball today, plus the latest from NFL and the world of sports. Fox Sports Live is tonight on Fox Sports 1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Pretty good bullpen for the Cleveland Indians this year. Brian Shaw's had a very good year, making his 70th relief appearance. He came into last night's ball game, faced one-hitter Torrey Hunter on 2 pitches, got a double play ball.
Breaking ball, strike 1 to Dozier.
Only 17 walks in 59 in the 3rd innings, the 51 strikeouts. Shaw in his 3rd season with the Indians. Came up to the big leagues with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Was giving signs out in front of the plate. I'd be hard pressed to think the Twins would even consider sending Hicks here. Down by 5 runs with 2 outs. And a home run threat at the plate. Checked his swing. It's 1-1.
Shaw, a guy that will step across his body and throw. Last year appeared in 80 ball games for the Indians. That's the most in the American League.
A drive to center. Almonte is there. Dozier hit it right on the button. Center fielder, and the Twins strand 2 more. Hunter's home run is 22nd. Gets the Twins on the board. It is 6-1.
The Twins move from one Central Division rival to another. Join us tomorrow on Fox Sports North at 5:30 p.m. as the Twins kick off a weekend series at Comerica Park against the Detroit Tigers. And now back to Twins baseball.
Miguel Cabrera's had some back issues. Scratched out of the lineup the other day, back in there today. No, the Tigers didn't play today. They gave him yesterday off in the hopes that he'd be ready to go tomorrow night for the opener of that series.
The Tigers lead the season series over the Twins 10-6. So that'd be a big 3-game series.
Outside, ball 1 to Mike Aviles. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Indians hope that Michael Brantley will be back in the lineup in left field for them tomorrow after injuring a shoulder here 2 nights ago.
Yeah, they were hoping that he would take some batting practice today. He may have underneath because nobody took batting practice with the tarp on all afternoon long.
Tap foul, 2-1.
There's Michael Brantley.
Hit hard to center, and Hicks retreats. He's there, 1 away. Tough night for Aviles. He struck out his first time up. He's lined to Rosario, Dozier, and now Hicks in his next 3 at bats.
Paul Molitor coming out. Good job by Michael Tonkin. Ended up working 2 shutout innings, a strikeout with an intentional walk.
Neil Kotz has been warming up. He'll come in to face the left-hander Kipnis when we come back. Trivia question.
You said Gary Ward?
I'm going to go with Gary Ward.
Oh, puck.
Michael Kadire with 19 of them.
He had a great arm. Eddie Rosario, most assists. One behind Garcia of the White Sox.
Jason Kipnis will face Neil Kotz with 1 out here in the Cleveland 8th.
Yeah, Neil worked in last night's ballgame, 1 shutout inning in the 4-2 win over the Indians. Through 11 pitches, 7 first strikes, making his 14th appearance.
Inside a ball.
Kotz worked the 6th inning after Phil Hughes worked 5 shutout innings. Face Kipnis, and Kipnis hit a ball to left field. For an out.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Twins trailing here, and the Royals leading at home. They've got a chance to clinch a division title tonight.
Almost like a little cutter right there. Ball kept drifting away from Kipnis.
2-2.
Kipnis an all-star for the Indians this year, his 2nd all-star appearance. Also made it in 2013.
Two and 2. Tap to the right side. Easy play for Maurer. 2 down. Yeah, they're ready to hoot and holler in Kansas City. Be their first division championship in 30 years. The last time the Royals won a division, it was the American League West in 1985. And they went on to beat the Cardinals in the World Series that year. The downside of the day for Royals fans, the revelation that Greg Holland has a ligament issue in his elbow and is going to be shut down for the season. Basically, the Royals will hope that Holland, through rehab, can come back like Michael Tanaka has with the Yankees. I don't know enough about human anatomy to be able to tell you whether it would be easier for a relief pitcher to pitch with that or a starting pitcher.
Good question. I don't know.
You don't know much about human anatomy either.
Something is torn in there.
Yep.
It's going to take a while to heal up, and it'll build up some type of adhesions in there. And hopefully they're They stay solid.
Rosario back. And
how was that? Was that pretty good?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Just got the basics down regarding human anatomy.
Doctor.
Game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll show you how the Indians were able to get to Kyle Gibson early and often in this baseball game. We'll also take a look at Cody Anderson. Why was he so tough on the Minnesota Twins hitters as they were looking to win their 4th straight game tonight? We'll bring you inside the clubhouse. We'll hear from Paul Maurer reacting to this game, his bullpen, and setting up the rather large series this weekend, guys, in Detroit.
Every game's so important. Thank you, Kevin.
It's hard to sweep a team, you know. Indians, last time the Twins swept the Indians here, you have to go back to 2012.
And we're so locked in on all the games now, you know, because of where Houston is and where the Angels are and all that. How'd you like to be the Orioles right now? They've fought back to 500, and yet they know that it's an uphill climb because they lost all 7 games to the Minnesota Twins this year. The Twins are where they are, and the Orioles are where they are because the Twins swept the season series. And those games were played long before, you know, anybody thought about the wild card races or anything like that. 2-0 to Maurer. It'll be Maurer, Sano, and Plouffe.
Yeah, the Twins played the Orioles in July here, and then they went to Baltimore in August. They won all 7 ball games.
And yet there's room for somebody in the last week and a half, as the Indians did 2 years ago. Just go ahead and win out and see what happens. And that's what the Indians did, and they got in the wild card game. Won their last 10 games. One thing that would be nice, speaking as a Minnesotan, and it may not happen this year, but the Twins close out the regular season at home, and they, of course, have a chance to clinch a postseason berth at home. The Twins have seen a lot of clinchings over the last 4 years. 3-1, and Maurer takes ball 4, a leadoff walk here in the 8th. And if you've been up all night waiting for Maurer to reach base in his 43rd straight game, you got your wish.
Hey, just passed Bob Allison for the Twins all-time leader in consecutive games and reaching base.
Well, more importantly, the leadoff man is on here in the 8th, and Sano comes up with a man on base. Single his last time up. Strike on the outside corner. His base hit to right field was a broken bat base hit, and I think what the Twins are waiting for is for him to start driving the ball to the opposite field. Backhanded by Lindor. And Sano moving down the line would have beaten the relay anyway. I'm not sure what happened to Johnson. The ball pulled him, the throw pulled him off the bag, and he still didn't catch it.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. Fielder's choice for Sano. Play going 6-4. The force out of Mauer at second.
Here's Plouffe, 0 for 3, a strikeout, a pop up, and a ground ball. Dribbled up the line, a swinging bunt, and Gomes pounces on it. Nice play by the Cleveland catcher.
Yeah, he's the only one that could have made that play right there. If Shaw had gone for that ball, there's no way he could go there and then spin around. And plus, I think Gomes throws harder than Shaw. My goodness. Watch Gomes right here set up. And got that ball quickly to Johnson. You can see him painted fingernails and all. Go a P over to get Plouffe out at first base.
2 down, Sano at second, and here's Rosario. Strike one. When I see someone like Shaw who throws across his body and obviously does that to build some deception in his delivery, you know, I'm curious whether he always threw that way or whether someone suggested to him along the way, you know, let's try this. Well, hacked foul. You know, for all the pitching prospects that come up, you know, guys who can throw with plenty of fastball, 93, 94 miles per hour, but something's missing. I'm surprised more people don't try to tinker with their delivery.
But you know what? I mean, you watch his follow through. Yes, he throws across his body, but he's still able to get his upper body over that left leg, and he bends his back a little bit.
And those are all mechanical things on the follow through, but from the hitter's standpoint,
it's hard to pick up.
It's hard to pick up. Right. Jared Weaver's still getting people out throwing 83 miles per hour with that type of delivery. So if I'm, and not to single out Michael Tonka, but anybody who's got, you know, he's been up here, he's been back down, and just to try something a little different that might, you know, be the trigger to get him to be effective up here.
I don't think Shaw ever.
Here's a drive to deep right field. Rosario has another one. He looked like he got fooled on that pitch and still pulled it into the seats for a 2-run home run.
And home run number 12 on the year for Eddie Rosario.
Well, game on, folks. It's 6-3.
Such a smooth swing he has. And we have seen that ball jump off his bat. The breaking ball, he just went down and in a nice swing way out front, but uppercut swing over the limestone into right field for a 2-run home run.
Now it's 6-3. Hunter hit the first home run, and he hits a rifle shot picked off ankle high by Kipnis. A well hit ball. The Twins get a couple in the 8th. On to the 9th, and it's 6-3. Rosario's 2-run home run, extending the belief that the Twins can come back here after falling behind 6-0 early. A 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th will get it done, right?
I hope so.
If J.R. Graham can pitch a scoreless top of the inning.
J.R. Graham coming in, making his 37th appearance on the year. He did have one start earlier this year. Picked up his first major league win in Tampa back on August 25th.
Lindor takes a strike. Tonkin struck him out swinging in the 6th. 7th pitcher used by the Twins. Tap foul.
Well, it was a slider down and in that Tonkin ended up striking him out. Now J.R. Graham ahead in the count.
Bottom of the inning, and the Twins are due to send up Suzuki, Escobar, and Hicks, and then Dozier, Mauer, and Sano. And Sano, the big man, he would hit 6 next inning. And if it does get that far, that would necessarily mean the Twins would have the tying run on base or at the plate. Guess it would be on base.
See if Suzuki sits back inside again. He did last time, and JR threw it out, and he got that pitch. Yep. The previous pitch, Suzuki sat inside, but the ball was out away. Lindor doesn't like the call, but it's a good fastball down and in.
The Twins have gotten 2 strikeouts of Lindor the last 2 times up.
Yeah, first time on a slider, this one on a fastball. They've got a piece of Fox Tracks, brought to you by Carrier.
One down. Here's Santana. Royals extending their lead over Seattle to 7-3. Santana with a 3-run home run back in the 3rd, and as many different relievers that the Twins have used give them all a pat on the back, because Indians haven't scored since the 3rd inning. All 6 runs charged to Gibson. So Tonkin and Kotz, Dunsing, they've all done a nice job here. Foul back. 2-1. Regarding the road trip, and we don't know how it's going to play out, of course, but you'd like to think that in playing in Detroit and in Cleveland, that I mean, the Indians haven't drawn well for a few years, so a midweek series there is not going to draw a lot of fans. It's not like you're going to be playing at the Rogers Center against the Blue Jays. We would expect smallish crowds in Detroit and in Cleveland. 2-1. 3-1. Competition's on the field, but if you're looking for home field advantage and a raucous crowd, capacity crowds in Detroit or Cleveland, I don't think the Twins will be confronted with that.
I think we'll be hearing that drum in Cleveland.
Of course, it didn't matter in 1984 when the Twins had that awful series in Cleveland on the last road trip of the year. I think there were more guys in uniform than there were fans in the stands.
But even though the Twins lost in '84, you know, that toward the end of the season, it was a great experience for a lot of those guys, like Herbex and Puckett first came up that year, and Gaetti, Bernansky.
Michael
Viola.
Martinez will run for Santana. And an off-speed pitch over for a strike. In terms of wins and losses, it's been a disappointing homestand. It's kind of hard to have anything but that when in the middle of the homestand you've had a 5-game losing streak. Now the Twins have won 3 straight. Hoping for some dramatics in the bottom of the ninth. 0-2. Gomes looks back in disbelief.
Graham has shown this year, even though he's a Rule 5 player, AA last year, that he can pick up some strikeouts. And he picks up his second there. 52nd strikeouts for Graham in 61 innings pitched. So good fastball. Just off the plate, but Gomes strikes out for the second time in the game.
2 down. And Chisenhall will bat. Inside ball 1. And now a strike. So far it's been a good outing for Graham. 14 pitches, 9 strikes. Nobody's put a ball in play.
Yeah, he's making his 3rd relief outing since he was activated on September 11th on the disabled list with some soreness in that right shoulder.
And back to Graham. He fumbles it. Has plenty of time to recover. And it's a good 9th inning for J.R. Graham. We'll see what the Twins can do. Down by 3. Suzuki, Escobar, Hicks due up.
Are imposed and inflicted. Struck him out. Got him. Breaking ball got him. Finishes are earned and celebrated. Trevor Plouffe walks them off. The most electric moment at Target Field in years. It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. The ball hooked down the right field line into the corner. Suzuki will score, and Escobar gets the big double.
And those games are fun in May, June, July, or August. But if you can pull one off in September, then you've got something really special going on, especially in a game where you were down 6-0. Eduardo Nunez is in the on-deck circle. He's going to hit for Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, the first 3 innings belong to the Indians, but the bullpen shut the door, and hopefully the last 3 innings belong to the Twins. They scored a run in the 7th on Hunter's home run, and then a 2-run home run by Rosario last inning. Cody Allen, the closer, 31 saves and 35 save opportunities.
The only nit to maybe pick are the 25 walks. Just 2 home runs in 64 innings. But a low opponent batting average. He's very good at what he does.
He became the closer last year, 24 saves. He's bettered that this year.
Nunez to get things started. Escobar on deck, and then Hicks. Strike 1 on the outside corner.
Allen with a good fastball, hard curveball, and a changeup. In his 4th season with the Indians, just 26 years old.
And off the plate, 1-1.
There's the hard curveball right there.
The key is sitting in the dugout. Miguel Sano. Top run producer since he's been with the team, and the Twins are hoping to get him up here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
A 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Nunez 2 hits in 7 at-bats as a pinch hitter.
And Nunez with a take. That's 2-2. A pleasant night here. The rain stopped about game time. But then the Indians went to work with a couple of 3-run innings. Two and 2. Chopper. Ramirez throwing low. What a dig at first by Chris Johnson. Nunez flying down the line, and Johnson dug out a low throw for the first out.
Yeah, Ramirez came in. He had to get rid of it quickly, and he kind of threw a little sinker to Johnson, and he picked it. Watch Ramirez come in the exchange, has to get rid of it quickly. It goes up all right into the turf. Johnson able to open up that glove and get it in that big first baseman's glove.
Now Escobar hits his last 2 times up. Hicks on deck. Down and in, ball 1.
Escobar with a couple hits, a single in the 5th, and a single in the 7th.
One and 1. And a soft liner picked off by Lindor. 2 down. Last hope for the Twins, Aaron Hicks. What's next? Final road trip of the year, brought to you by CenturyLink. 3 games in Detroit. No, the Twins won't have to face Justin Verlander. Pelfrey, Duffy, and Santana going for the Twins. Duffy going with an extra day's rest.
Right. And he's been pitching great. And Santana too. Hopefully Mike Pelfrey will be on tomorrow night.
Hicks trying to keep the game alive for the Twins, up on in, ball 1. Hicks with a pair of hits, a double in the 1st and a single in the 7th. And a strike.
on the outside corner.
Ooh, perfect pitch right there at 95.
One and two. Two and two.
Well, he's got a good curveball. Big bite to that curveball. Always did when he first came up. I remember in 2012 he was kind of a setup man. The Indians made him the closer last year.
Called third strike. A breaking ball, freezing Hicks, and the Twins lose the homestand and series finale. Final score: Cleveland 6 and the Minnesota Twins 3. For those of you watching on FS1, we now send you to Jay and Dan in LA and the start of Fox Sports Live. Well,
his shortest outing of the season, and it came at a wrong time.
Tom Hanneman, the Twins losing this game to the Indians and now dropping back into a tie with the Angels in their pursuit of the Houston Astros.
Dick, Twins now move on to Michigan, their final road trip of the regular season. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll break down this loss to Cleveland, talk about Cody Anderson's start here from Paul Molitor, and look ahead to the road.